Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Let's talk a little bit about the price action of XRP. I'm going to share with you opinions from a number of chart analysts in this video, including one who says that if you sell XRP right now, it could be catastrophic. And it's interesting to me seeing in very, very short order, analysts taking a look at the charts and coming to very strikingly similar conclusions about the directions things are going to go, to positive, like certainly positive, and where things are going to be landing here in the short to midterm in particular. And it just seems to be the case. Like, I mean, I'll tell you what, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. So don't buy or sell anything because of anything I say, right? I just think it's fun to talk about this stuff as a hobby, I'm an enthusiast, if you will. But these chart analysts have got me somewhat convinced that we're going to be seeing something. We're going to be seeing some fireworks perhaps within the next couple of days, actually. So, again, I'm not a chart guy. I just enjoy following this stuff as much as you do. I'm just as interested. But it's kind of exciting to see some positive projections from many of the analysts that I'm following. Because frankly, after the chart was destroyed with the SEC news, like, you couldn't make heads or tails of it for some time because the patterns that were in play, they're just completely broken. So it's like you needed time to pass to be able to draw any additional conclusions, and enough time now has passed for many chart analysts to say, okay, got a handle on this now. Here's where I think it's going. And spoiler alert, it's pretty much all positive. So that's good. That makes me feel good. I mean, we could use some good news after this frickin', I tell you what, man, 2020 was a dumpster fire of a year. If we could just make sure that 2021 is not a dumpster fire of a year, that would be fantastic. So a little bit of good news would make Moon Lambeau super happy. Before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap the like button, I'd appreciate the support. It will tell the YouTube machine that you don't completely hate this particular Moon Lambeau hot jam, in which case the YouTube machine will be more likely to suggest this video to other people that have the same interests as you. And also go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambeau channel, because if you don't, you are dead to me. All right, let's tap in now. As I record this, XRP is at 22.7 cents, Bitcoin at $34,104. Woo, woo, damn. They can be climbing. Market cap at $929 billion. How long do you think it's going to take before I get to report in a video, market cap $1 trillion? It's going to happen, you know. It's just a question of when. Will it be January? Maybe. I don't know. There's definitely some interesting altcoin action. Bitcoin dominance is at 68.25%. Now, I just put out a video about the scary price action with our selling rather from institutional money from cryptocurrency hedge fund Grayscale. By the way, I'm not going to get into it. That's not the topic of this video, but I will mention I just am not the least bit worried about what happened with the Grayscale. If you want to learn the specifics of what went down, did they dump XRP, did they not? It was in my very previous video, check it out. But you can see right here on the chart, this is the XRP chart over the last 24 hours. This is before that news hit, and then you can see an XRP price went off a cliff from, what was it at? Call it about 24.1 cents down to the low 22 cent range. But then it kind of consolidated and has come back up a little bit since then. And it's kind of impressive, like, after that initial dump, how quickly it was bought back up. So all the people that were fearful selling, like, that was the final. I'm sitting there thinking too, like, holy hell, I get being scared. It makes all the sense in the world. And then there is admittedly much more risk to holding XRP as a result of the SEC charges against Ripple. I totally get it. This is not a hype channel. I'm going to acknowledge that. It doesn't change my convictions at all. But I'm just sitting here thinking, like, holy hell. So you held your XRP through the SEC, through all the delistings, all this stuff, but Grayscale announcing that XRP was being removed from their large cap fund, that's what sets you off. Like, that is, like, you're like, I'm out. Oh, okay, I mean, you do you. Like, I'm not disparaging anybody for getting out. I totally get it. It's just, it's not, to me, like, the worst news already happened. This is like, okay, par for the course. Like, it's really not to be surprised. It's just, to me, as uninteresting at this point as an exchange saying that they're removing XRP, whether it's delisting or suspension of XRP. And so let's jump into here. So take this chart analyst Magic, who wrote the following. So after making those points, it becomes even more clear that panic selling XRP right now could be catastrophic. I showed how the long-term bull structure is still intact, and if practically all other alts are subject to the same SEC scrutiny, why even worry about it, right? And so as far as the chart analysis portion of that, that's what I'm now seeing from many of the chart analysts that I follow anyway. As for the SEC portion of it, and I'll have to talk about this more in another video that's not really aimed to be just about price, but I will say, like, the broader scope of things, pretty much every cryptocurrency on the planet is at risk. Like, if this does, at least in the United States, like, if this doesn't go well for Ripple, then I'd still like to know why ETH isn't a freaking security if XRP is, which still, again, doesn't make a lick of sense. And I don't think Ethereum is. I'm just saying, if you're going by that logic. But what coin would not be? And so that's why when I'm sitting there, it's like, okay, so people, they're panic selling their XRP, not realizing that whatever your altcoin of choice is, it's probably next. I don't know that the SEC has the manpower to literally go after over 7,000 coins, but they'll be picking some, and maybe the larger cap coins. Because if you think about it, whatever Jay Clayton thought, and we'll never know exactly what was in his mind, not exactly what was, but, there was, they already kind of cleared Bitcoin and Ethereum as not being securities, even though technically, by the way, the SEC never declared that. It's just somebody, I can't remember who it was at the time, but somebody from the SEC came along and said that we just, maybe it was one individual who just, maybe they even spoke out of turn, I don't know, but the view was that Bitcoin and Ethereum, not securities, but there's never an official declaration of that. And so it looks like they hopped over that, and then for whatever reason, before Jay Clayton was on his way out the door, his last action was to sue Ripple, claiming that they're selling an unregistered security in XRP. And it's just, what they were doing? They were going after the largest entity that they could. Well, first of all, with Bitcoin, it's like, good luck suing Satoshi, I guess. So there is that point. And with Ethereum, you could have, though, except for somebody in your little team there said that we don't think it's a security, even though, again, it wasn't officially declared. So who do you go after next? Well, you want to go after the big one, right? Well, the next one's Ripple. So there you go. That's what happened. But I'm telling you, if this doesn't go well, not going to be good. Not going to be good for other altcoins as well. Anyway, here's a tweet from a blockchain backer. He wrote, today's video is 100% technical analysis of XRP. By the end, you should be feeling better. And in parentheses, he wrote, I do. And so I did watch that video earlier, and he gave kind of like a little teaser of like the evening before of what to expect, which was this tweet. He wrote, XRP is in the final stages of a perfect Wyckoff accumulation. And so he in his opinion, the bottom's in. The low that we saw of roughly 17 cents, that was it. He does expect, and he cited this, within the next couple days, he thinks that you're going to see this pattern where it does go lower. And he cites, like, if you want the specifics, just go see his video. He did a great job. But he thinks that within the next couple days, probably that short of a time frame, you're going to see it go down. Maybe it does get close to the 17-cent range, but then he believes it's going to take off. And so if you look at this chart, I don't know if he drew this up arrow just to indicate that in general this is the direction he expects, or if that's where he thinks it's going to top off during that time frame. If so, you're looking at 50 cents. And if that is what he thinks, which he did not cite specifically in the video, so I don't know for sure that he thinks that, that's not far off from like what, for instance, Credible Crypto is talking about. I mentioned that in a video just the other day, another very popular chart analyst, where he's saying XRP to 46 cents. That's the level that he's looking for in the short term. And so it's just all these analysts, they keep, now they've got sufficient data, they're coming to roughly the same conclusions, which is what I saw prior to the awesome run-up that started, price run-up for XRP that started, mid-November, somewhere thereabout. So it's just interesting when I start to see opinions align here. I don't think that they're all colluding, but behind our backs here. I think that they're coming to their own independent conclusions, and they vary a little bit, but the direction is the same. And so I had made the point too. Look, I understand the price went down dramatically because of what happened with the SEC news. Not surprising. But most of the people that wanted out because of the scary news stuff, they're out, and that's fine. I don't begrudge anybody for doing that. I won't disparage anybody for doing that. I get it. It is more risky to hold XRP now. I'm not going to lie. Again, like I said, that doesn't change my conviction. But it's just. I guess I'd say that, given that the worst of the news is behind us, right? I mean, I couldn't even imagine what would be worse than that. I think that XRP, it's just going to be back to moving in tandem with the market. It's in a lower position as a result of the news because more people are out, and that affected supply and demand, obviously. but it's still going to move in tandem with the market. People are still speculating on it. And the United States was only, I don't remember the exact number, like 10 or 15% of global volume. The rest of the people are still trading it. So by and large, the price in terms of United States dollars, it's actually led by the rest of the world now until there's clarity around this. But I still think, man, if we do get clarity in the direction that we want it to, it is in XRP absolutely clarity that it's not a security, this thing's going to run like crazy. And so that's like, for me, I'd feel less easy if I didn't have the exposure to XRP that I do have. And I understand it's risky and maybe I lose everything, but that's the bet I'm making. And I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just saying that's the bet that I personally am choosing to make. And this is not financial advice. You do whatever you want to do. But I'm very optimistic. I can't imagine the United States ruining the entire crypto asset class, which is kind of what they do if this thing doesn't have the favorable outcome that we're looking for. Here's a tweet from chart analyst DIY Investing, which I mentioned the other day, but it's worth repeating. Check this out. XRP/BTC pair has more bullish divergence than I have ever seen on a chart in my whole life. Psychologically, XRP has never been a better buy considering how many people sold that panic. Listening to the crowd will lead you to believe it's going to zero. I'm buying. And so I certainly suspect it's the case that had we not had this super scary news and that everything's running crazily, that XRP probably would be over $1, but I still think it's going to happen with or without the scary news. At some point, I think it's going to be running during this alt cycle. And if we ever get unexpected news of an actual settlement, holy hell. And that's why, like, for me, I want to have the exposure to XRP that I have. I believe it will go well, and if not, I'm a big boy, fine. But I believe it will go well. I really firmly believe that. And if I reduced or removed my exposure to XRP and that happened, I'd just be kicking myself after accumulating for 3 years. So sorry, Jay Clayton and SEC, you will not be shaking out a moon Lambo. And then there's this tweet from DIY Investing. Remember that time crypto Twitter said how different this cycle was from the last and how nothing from the last cycle applies this time? And so take a look at this. He's got this cycle showing, so this is up to, well, yeah, I guess it goes back to, 2013 at the very beginning here through, you can see here's 2017, where he's talking about here's a accumulation zone, and then a Bitcoin price deviates and increases. Then you go to the current one, which is right here, and he's just pointing out that the pattern is pretty much exactly the same. And so we're seeing a deviation from the trend which happened during this accumulation zone right here. And so we've seen this movie before, and what'll be interesting is it depends on how many institutional investors jump in. Like, what if we get a flurry of them? My gosh, in terms of what we see, it could be the most absurd rally ever, which is why I'm excited to be here despite this awful news from the SEC. They will not ruin my 2021. And I'm going to absolutely continue to invest in the crypto asset class. I'm just going to diversify. I feel like, given the state of things, I don't want to reduce my holdings of XRP, but I do want to diversify further because I think that there's going to be a lot of opportunities, in particular with other altcoins. And I know I keep saying this, but I will be talking more about that in future videos. And then here's Dennis Surchuk. He's a chart analyst for CryptoComes.com. And he was kind of saying something rather similar. Like, he acknowledged it was very similar to blockchain backer, honestly. He's like, you could see on the lower end maybe down to about 17 cents. But he thinks that there's a really good possibility that you're going to see a target of 33 cents. And he wrote here, may be attained within the next few days. Seriously. And then I was thinking about what blockchain backer was saying. He's like, he's like, this thing's going to pop soon. And he goes, yeah, it's going to go down. It is going to go down within the next couple days, but then it's like pop and off. And so here's Dennis Surchuk. He's saying within the next few days, effectively the same thing. Whether you think it's going to 33 cents or 40 cents, fine. But that part is strikingly similar. So I'm just going to share with you, it's like, for me, if we do see the price go down to somewhere around 17 cents within the next couple days, I certainly am not going to be afraid. And I'll just be like, I'll just be waiting for it to pop and say, like, okay, were these guys right? Were they right? Were they right? I'm going to be super curious to find out here. And then they had this article. I'm not going to run through this, but they ended up citing Credible Crypto, and he's talking about potentially you could see XRP in the very short term up to 30 cents within the next couple weeks beyond that, getting up to, and he cited that as well, up to like 46 cent range. So indeed, it will be interesting to see where all this goes. And I don't know about you, like, despite all this craziness with the lawsuit and everything, like, I'm still sleeping easy, and I'm enjoying following this space. I'm enjoying running this channel just as much as I ever have. And so, if you're scared or worried or anything, any words along those lines, I'm nothing but sympathetic. But I don't know what's going to happen, and although I cannot offer financial advice, I can just share with you that there's still opportunity out there. The sun will rise tomorrow. It's going to be okay no matter what happens here. I believe, because I just well, unless they completely ruin the crypto asset class, but look, I really don't think that's going to happen. But no, look, I just wanted to share with you that I really do believe that there's good reason to be optimistic and excited about what's happening. We are in a major bull market here, and I personally, even though I'm not a chart analyst, I follow enough. I'm like, I believe that XRP is going to move in tandem with the market, even without clarity. Yeah, because think about it. There are S-word coins, you know what I'm talking about, all over that have been and will continue to pump tremendously. And you're talking about XRP, which is not an S-word coin. It's just got a little cloud hanging over it because of the SEC stuff. And so that won't pump, but the S-word coins will. I don't think I buy that. I think the market's moving in tandem. So I'm just going to sit here and hold. We'll see what happens. I don't know for sure. I don't pretend to, but that's the way I'm looking at it. That's how I'm going to act. That is it for this video, though. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.